Needless to say, for many people here, me included, this is a very important time for the region, for the industry, for the whole supply chain. For years, the jewelry cluster in the Campania region had nothing to represent something which has been there in the region for more than 2,000 years. Thanks to the local minister, the public agencies, the associations, the agencies, well, we have achieved a very important goal. For the first year, we have a single partner, an interlocutor with a legal status, so that we can do a lot to get international, to organize training and to support the whole sector. For that, we are really proud. I shall endeavor to be brief and practical. We only have 1 hour. We have a lot to say. I give the floor to the manager of IEG to welcome you, and then we will get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome on behalf of IEG. We are celebrating the 70th anniversary of Vincenzo Oro. Many companies from the Campania region have participated and contributed to make the trade fair as it is today. It's a honor to host the inaugural session of the District Campania, which indeed will enhance the manufacturing and the jewelry item from Campania. So I wish you a fruitful day. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd like to introduce the speakers so that we can start the debate. President Giannotti, from a family of jewelers, and he is the person in charge of coordinating the D.OR Campania. The Minister Chiesa from the Campania government, a person who has been really active, combining the different systems of the Campania region. Then Mr. Bonavita, who is the person in charge of clusters, and he is the interface with the industry, and Dr. Monticelli, who is a project manager who has been appointed, and he is the person who will work together with the president and the network to implement all the initiatives that we have. Many of the people that you see here have an important history. 25 years ago, a similar winning experience was implemented, so that many initiatives were implemented in many fields. So the fact that we are still here working is a sign of continuity. It's a project launched many years ago, ideally. Now we start with a video clip describing our world.
Grazie. Presidente Giannotti.
The floor to President Giannotti. So, for the first time, the jewelry supply chain has become a cooperating system. Well, good afternoon. For the first time, the Jewellery District is officially presented internationally and nationally. Allow me to welcome the different members of the network. We have a federation representing the whole retail world, and Torre del Greco, with the DNA of Campania. Campania has a real jewelry DNA and a long history. I'd like to welcome the friends from Italy, the national president, Dettaglio, who is with us. So we have to work together in order to further expand and implement a real coordination among us. I'd like to thank Confindustria, Federografi, all the friends and associations who really have believed in the importance of being a network. I would like to thank the local minister, Marchiello, who launched a challenge that is to have objectives and to work together. To do that, we had to analyze the regional system, and that was a real challenge. We have the opportunity to put all the different clusters of jewelry and gold together so that they can represent all the professions. Well, thank you, President. We will hear that the tool which has been used is a network contract. Now, the founding fathers are Tari, the Consorzio Borgorifici, which is a neighborhood in Naples where jewels have been produced since the 14th century continually. Then we have Oro Mare, with a memorandum of understanding signed. According to the network contract, the companies have the opportunity to get together to be more inclusive with the memorandum of understanding. We work with Preziosa, Asso Coral. That is the tool to be more and more inclusive so that we can include all the different associations of the industry. You didn't mention Torre del Greco. No, I did. Yeah.
Quanto è importante?
Well, we are here to defend the cluster. President, you know, in the projects that you implement, what is the role of training? Well, indeed, training is one of the key pillars. We also have set up an academy so that we could combine all the training forms, not only those at the workshop, but we want to have professionals who can do storytelling and talk about beauty to retailers. Indeed, this is what we have to train better. I mean, online is a direct competitor of the cutting system. So in a way or the other, we will have to implement training so that we could indeed respond to all the needs. What about entrepreneurs? What about B2B? We need to have sales agents who can tell about the items and the companies, the entrepreneurs. In a system with entrepreneurs, well, it is necessary to help young persons, for example, to get funds to make investments. So we have to train people who can go on with the system. One of the main targets we know that as journalists. That company, Campania, was, outside of the radar. Indeed, Campania was not analyzed. We had no census. We have no figures. That's incredible because we are ranking 4th as a jewelry cluster in Italy. What will you do with that? Well, we have a study center which has already been opened. We have a collaboration with the banks providing statistics. Often so, only production figures are known. But, the system also includes marketing and trade. And they are making the real numbers. We have to be able to have those numbers so that we can indeed consider and identify the needs. We are working together. We are working with the chambers of commerce. There are 4 of them in the Campania region. We are indeed getting the statistics. Before giving the floor to the technical experts, I'd like to hear from the local minister. This is a very important premiere in the D.OR Campania that will be presented in October. Yes, is the answer. We'll do that during an event together with the president to inaugurate the activities. So we will indeed be very practical. We are not here to tell something without implementing it. We want to be practical. First of all, we want to analyze the needs. In October, during the event, we will present what we are doing. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. Before speaking about the technical issues, the experts will explain how the district was created and the targets. Now the jewelry sector in Campania has a very important allocation received. We want to identify the needs so that these funds can be used. Mr. Bonavita, who has a long experience, will tell us how we have created the cluster, and then Mr. Monticelli, will tell us the future activities. You have the floor.
Grazie, buongiorno.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you all. I'm extremely pleased to be here to present to you what you've done to set up the Goldsmith district in the Campania. This is a district that has just been recently set out thanks to the members of the network, and thanks to what the central administration has done based on this work of local minister Marchiello. There's a new identity on the national and international scene. This basically is the birth of this Goldsmith district in Campania that, as a matter of fact, started off in 1300 with the first goldsmith started working in Naples. They developed a guild, then a school of goldsmithery, and in the 1700s with Baroque, with the master of goldsmithry that was member of the Royal Bourbons. With this development, we get to the recent past with 3 important production plants and an important network. So the poles are accounted for by Naples again, with the descendants of the 1400. Then there's the Marchiello pole in the Caserta province, where you have the more modern plants with all the necessary services for the manufacturers, and then the very specialized pole that in Torre del Greco, where coral is being processed. And then there's retailers network. As for Naples, Well, the pole is based in the Pendino block with the Borgo degli Orefici, the Goldsmith village, with this important cross of the 1700, which is at the heart of the little village of goldsmiths. And this is the cross, again, which is told to be safeguarding the goldsmith working in the vicinity. There are a lot of craftsmen working in the goldsmithery industry that has joined together their effort into our association in the year 2000. In Torre del Greco, they manufacture cameos, they work on curul, and this is an age-old tradition. There is a network of small and micro family-owned businesses that hand over to following generations how this job is performed through a number of small labs and a very dynamic approach. In 1996, they set up a national association for the producers of coral that was indeed headquartered in Torre del Greco. And then there is the third pole, that of Marcianise, which is the pole of innovation. They decided to find an area outside of Naples to have modern plants equipped with the services, the safety, financial services, training centers, and all what it is required for the goldsmith industry to follow its development and grant best efficiency. In Marcianise, there's a center of the Terri that dates back to 1996. It is a consortium with a number of plants and businesses being member to it. There are as many as 2,500 at count, with important repercussions on employment, therefore. There's a Congress Center in the consortium, inside the consortium, getting to as many as 400,000 people working. Not far from Terri, there's another settlement, a modern settlement with 150 businesses, over 1,000 head count. And this, again, you see, has important repercussions on employment and a high level of specialization. Then there is the retailers network with some 1,400 family-owned businesses. And this accounts for 15% of the national network, which is a very important component, therefore. How about the regional policy? The research innovation strategy is one of the preliminary document for the granting of EU financing. There's a very important group of companies involving textile clothing industry, shoe industry, as well as accessory and goldsmith industry. This is a group of company that is very dynamic. A lot of products are produced for retail for important fashion designers. And the research innovation strategy aims at promoting sustainable development and resilient development, considering the environment. Indeed, lots of materials are being reused. We rely on circular economy, something that was very little known up until recently. Manufacturing factors are fully exploited with modern technologies being introduced so as to grant best productivity for the local company. So basically this all can be summarized in one word, which is Craftsman 4.0, where even training is granted to potential goldsmith. The second objective of this strategy is to promote the international development. Of course, all the product which is generated within the region cannot just stay within the national borders, but it requires, again, international trade. The district is an important factor to obtain development. Companies are not less independent, but as a matter of fact, they join efforts with other companies so as to take full advantage of scale economy and manufacture at a lower cost, so as to make the final cost affordable, granting best quality at the lowest cost. Campania as a region, therefore, with a large financial budget, has financed resources so as to promote this project for the promotion of the Goldsmith district in Campania. The objective of the legislators in Campania is the generation of new knowledge, research on new materials, organization of spaces for scientific dissemination, the study of new lines and styles, and the enhancement of products that are made in our region by the means of the promotion of international markets and developing new employments. At our local ministry, the local ministry for manufacturing activities of the region Campania, we've pulled together all the stakeholders in the goldsmith industry, involving retailers, guilds, trade unions, manufacturers, all those who may contribute to the setting up of this goldsmith district. By means of this consultation, we identified an important tool that is a way to identify one project to enhance our district for Goldsmith of Campania. The tender has led to D.OR Campania. D.OR is indeed the acronym of the Goldsmith District of Campania. This project, the D.OR project, has been considered as deserving financing, and the following speaker, Mr. Monticelli, is going to dwell on this. What I'd like to highlight here is that the Campania Goldsmith District is the result of consultation where companies have been involved, because the network of manufacturers can be set up only with the entrepreneurs willing to get this consultation. This memorandum of understanding had a number of other stakeholders involved. Indeed, the two memorandum of understanding have been signed with Preziosa and Concommercio and Assocoral, and this led to the setting up of an open network. Two memorandum of understandings have been signed. More can be added to that, and a consortium has been set up in Torre del Greco, which is a byproduct of Assocoral, leading to an important step forward being made. So this is a network which is much more directly involved in the workings of the district. Our district is therefore extremely open to new proposals and new developments. As far as we know, one first example of a pipeline in the goldsmith industry with legal identity, granting representation to all the member vis-à-vis the regional authority and other authorities. This is, again, an important association. This is not just a memorandum of understanding. This is a true association. The district has one objective. We started way back in the 1400s, as we said, and now we are at a time when we talk about Craftsman 4.0. The objective is to have as much innovation on board as possible. Thank you. Now, Mr. Bonavita, following your presentation, a can tell that Goldsmiths have been extremely bold because they have come to setting up this network in a very limited amount of time. Is this, you think, just serendipitous? And then I have another question. I believe that what you've said is very important. I don't want to anticipate anything which is going to be said. And I believe that associations are trying to create specific tools so as to be members of that. A consortium, for example, has been associated with a number of members, quite a high number of members indeed. By means of this consortium, they are going to be active within the district. A technical agreement is going to be entered into by Preziosa, so this is in quite a short time when all this process is being triggered. You know, when you start a consultation process, you cannot take it for granted that you achieve a result in such a short time. Especially so, considering that we haven't lost anything on the way, because we have a number of members that can be termed as manufacturers. Usually there are consortia gathering manufacturers, but we not only have manufacturers, we have all the people working in the pipeline. So basically all the people and all our other sub-organizations have been, in a way, attracted to becoming members to this district, and this is something that makes us extremely proud. Mr. Monticelli, what are you going to take us now? Well, I'm not taking anybody anywhere. I think that we're going towards our aim all together. Indeed, we are developing an establishment. There's an industry that has been quite alive and kicking for over 800 years, and this is for a reason. We now succeeded in setting up this network based on our important and long-standing tradition, which is part and parcel of our DNA in Campania. So we developed a network of companies and consortia. It is quite articulated and it is based in different geographic areas. There's an important integration with the retailers, and this is the result of something, again, which is part and parcel with this industry, with a long-standing tradition. Borgo degli Orefici, the Goldsmith area, was set up based on the principle of reliability, trust, and know-how. So when you have a network of small companies that work in a pipeline, these three features are all important, and they did not only add to some economic factors. These are social and human factors. Over the past 800 years, the Goldsmith network has developed importantly with the addition of Torre del Greco, with Coral, and again, there we find the same connection between the manufacturing and the local geographic area where that manufacturing is organized, with a lot of social involvement of workers, so much so that not only did we have economic results being achieved, but also we could also grant an important social network in that geographic area. In 1996, a need was perceived, that of scaling up, developing additional manufacturing plants, complying with the rules of in terms of working conditions, and the idea was that of setting up new poles. Hence, the Terri was set up, and that Oromare. But this is basically a series of steps along a process. The funny thing is that there are many micro companies that are growing size-wise, and they are marked by resilience indeed, they can adjust to the degree of complexity which is developing worldwide, and they are still there thanks to this resilience. So this is synonymous with the longevity of this network of companies, micro and small companies, both in Naples and in Torre del Greco, with marked by characteristic development capability. This is one further step ahead. The scalability concept, the possibility to grow and be present, is the result of the adaptability that this industry proved to have. So if you look at this process, you may very well understand that this system developed over the centuries, over 8 centuries, so much so that it now achieved this new form, which is nothing but one step ahead along a process. The 3 existing consortia have already joined to the district. On September the 2nd, the consortium for coral and cameos based in Torre del Greco has applied, and we try to consider that inside this network we could have other stakeholders granting a number of services. Fratelli di Naci being one of them. Indeed, they perform assays on metals. They're very strong in the reuse of scraps and waste. This network of companies is therefore a joining together of different companies, and consultation is key for its scalability. What are the macro areas? One is the system of complex network of companies. By means of a memorandum of understanding, we could connect it to specialized entities, the trade fair entities, as well as chambers of commerce. Indeed, on the one hand, we can analyze the needs, and we can find an answer to these needs, addressing, again, the ad hoc institutions. We enjoy a very good relationship with the local minister for manufacturing activities and for the municipality of Naples. But this, again, is a sign of the fact that we are closely related to metropolitan areas, provinces, districts. We are fully intertwined with other companies. Basically, we issue training, we create jobs, we promote tourism, because the areas where the manufacturing takes place are located in areas which are marked by important tourism flows. So all these elements have to consider and are fully integrated in a consultation process. The main minister we refer to is MIT, and based on EU legislation, a law was adopted for the identification of the origin of the materials. So basically, we have local legislation enforced as well, as to the origin of all the materials that we use in our products. Then, of course, also research and training activities are carried out, and there are a number of typical stakeholders, as university, vocational schools, research centers, and incubators, which are all on board of our district. This is our organization chart. The management committee is run by the president of and Vincenzo Giannotti has been appointed as the president. And then we have a number of board directors. Aucella, Laurentiis, and Mingone have been asked to act as the project manager for the full implementation of our project. So what is the future? Basically, we have listed all the words which we believe are synonymous with our identity, and there are quite a number of them. And this certainly is not a comprehensive list. The project financed by the Campania region has led us to carrying out a careful analysis of the needs to look at the geographic area and identify all the necessary actions. The feasibility study should be carried out into a specific time lag, and there are a number of actions that are to be carried out as pilot actions that we believe are the most urgent needs: training, employment, transition, internationalizations, promotion, and communication. The feasibility study should contribute this understanding of the state of the art in the area. The feasibility study should identify all what is needed quantity-wise and quality-wise. Indeed, we believe that we have to come up with tools to be handed over to the Campania region and to the other stakeholders in the public administration, so that adequate resources are found for the project to be funded. The objective being that of leveraging on innovation, new technologies, taking full advantage of the opportunities before us. And we have to do that swiftly, because change is happening rapidly. Our manufacturing industry see a prevalence of craftsmen, and we have to train new people. This is true in many other areas. We have to have new people, we have to train new people. Because, again, we have to convey what we need in terms of new jobs. So we wanted to speculate on the first pilot project. Being a district, we have to start providing some kind of structure. We have to provide governance for our district. Indeed, we need now a district innovation manager. We have to hire somebody to facilitate the process. We need a junior engineer. This is the first person we're going to hire. There are two important projects that are going to further strengthen what the Goldsmith schools are already doing. Indeed, we need some training courses support, and 2 scholarships are going to be granted. And based on what Fede Preziosa has said, we want to have continuous education projects for the retailers, identifying 4 training courses, 1 for retailers, another for experts, Goldsmith, and another for management experts, and for the jewellery expert. This is part of a larger project that has been touched upon by Mr. Bonavita, but it's certainly going to be covered by the local minister. Indeed, there's a new tool that the Campania region is going to equip itself. You know that pipelines are going to look for strategies, and we are going to need tools for training and continuous training.
Skilling e reskilling.
That is, upskilling and reskilling. The idea is to innovate. That means that we are going through transition, digitally and with technology. Innovation is not easy to manage. You can manage that because you have a research center or you have research institutes at national level. To do that, you can start bottom up with open innovation. That means I'm looking for solutions adequate to my needs to innovate in the market. Here we have the first initial challenges, and there are plenty. We started making categories, identifying the topics where initiatives are already implemented by network members. One is that of security. Then we have digital transition, environment transition. You know, the coral is something alive, so there are a lot of complexities in terms of perception of the product, objectively and subjectively. Then circular economy, starting from the idea to use, sewer waters and so on, in order to identify new technologies to have a good impact on equipment and tools, having a major impact on the environment. What is the third element of this? If we want to innovate, we have to do that also by using new materials and ideas. Here we have to build or use challenges launched to the spin-offs, to innovative SMEs, to develop the responses, to identify our needs so that we can implement actions through new financial resources and new projects. The idea to have an innovation hub in the cluster is standardizing a process which starts from the need to the development of a new product. That is done in a democratic way. Those who manage innovation are requested to find solutions. Another key strategic element is this. We are here because we indeed want to offer the idea of internationalization, which is a key element. First, we have to consolidate our position in the trade affairs where we are already exhibiting, so that we can indeed make ourselves more visible, and to identify research on topics to involve people who carry out research on new markets. Indeed, we have to communicate and promote what we do. What you see today is just the first part of a process to create a brand identity, a tool on and offline to be developed in the next 12 months. A key time is the presentation in the Campania region of the project through what we call Convivium, a meeting where we will involve all the stakeholders from the institutions. I would like to close now. Sorry for taking so much of your time. The idea was to explain well what we did, so that you can really see that we are a real joint community which has developed important strategic values. This is a change of paradigm. In the future, communities will interact more and more with production subjects, together with the idea of defending sustainability. This is our economic, professional, entrepreneurial commitment. We are also involved on social issues and all the impacts on the community. That will become increasingly strategic. We undertake to carry out this project. We do strongly believe in it. So it's up to us to achieve the objectives. I'm sure that we will be fully committed. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Monticelli. Two very brief comments. Well, that's really incredible. We knew that already. Then, training is very important. In Campania, we are lucky. We have 3 centers of excellence. One is the School of Tari. Then we have Bulla, which is a small gem managed by the Consorzio Borgo Orefici, and then a school in Torre del Greco where people learn. Now the floor to the Minister. You told me that this is your first experience in being here. What's your impression? Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for being here and still here with us. That's an incredible trade fair. I'm really impressed. There are so many ideas, so much top quality. I see that many clusters are represented here. I saw that there is a working yard. You are renovating the infrastructure, so it's a great time to grow for all who attend. And we are here. I was invited. Here I am. I'm so happy to participate in this historical moment for the Campania region. Well, I was interested in seeing how the international jewelry market can have an impact. I visited Arezzo. I've not been in Valencia, but you know, here it's incredible. Nothing to add. I had a long tour in the fair. I saw beautiful things. There are so many people, maybe because it's Sunday, but you know, there are a lot of people watching with marvel. And those who are here and have the booths, you know, this is a key trade fair for the economy and the made in Italy style. But let's go back to the Campania jewelry cluster. That's a time of pride. I was born in that region. So what's your feeling? What do you think about our objectives? Are they feasible? Well, it's not a feeling. I'm sure it's a belief that you will manage. Considering that this is the landscape, you know, usually SMEs are, you know, scattered in the market. But if they make a cluster, they can have a say. They can really make the market understand who they are and what's their value. And I am a politician. They are the entrepreneur and they believed in the project. So the region can be there to their side. They can provide the money. But if we are not supporting, nothing will happen. You and I were born in 2 different neighborhoods nearby. We are people who understand what's important. I am the local minister for labor. I know that it's important to provide opportunities for wealth, to create new jobs, because that makes entrepreneurs grow and the economy can flourish. this is a burning issue. I mean, you mentioned the jobs. Sometimes companies cannot find skilled people. Training schools are working, but there is a high demand for skillful workers. The answer, well, entrepreneurs knows very well who is needed, and schools can provide training, but there should be more specificity. If we organize academies, we have to do that with determination. I mean, you know, but words are not enough. But we have to have clear ideas, ask for funds to the regional authorities. We have approved about 32 million funds for the academies. An academy, what is that? There is an entrepreneur saying, I need this skilled worker. So it's the entrepreneur who tells who is needed, what are the skills which are needed. This is nothing new. It's important that we get started. And I think that we will get started soon. The entrepreneurs are those who will give us the indications. And those who work in the tourist sector can contribute. So the academies will be there to help training the skilled workers needed. Comment. Now we have the whole supply chain in Campania, producers, crafts, schools, retail. So there are many different needs in terms of skills. Thanks to the academy and the collaboration with entrepreneurs, we will manage. Yes, that's we have to be open to all stakeholders. That's true for all the industries. I'm working on the clusters. We created more than 120 trade clusters. If the retailers combined, and they are not enough, if retailers put their forces together, they can help improving the skills. We have a special community because it's a tourist destination. So being a retailer in Campania means speaking different languages. Recently, at the council meeting, we approved of a protocol signed with Amazon. What are we supposed to do? We want to have a showcase of Campania crafts so that it can travel the world. So we have this opportunity. That's news. We will have the opportunity to have a showcase so that in Australia they can learn about items, or in Japan or whatever, and wherever. I mean, the important markets. And Mr. Minister, the clip we have shows that we have a long background and history, starting from Pompeii and so on. In Tari, 2 years ago, we had an exhibition on Pompeii with wonderful earrings exhibited. The D.OR with Tari has 400 companies, more than €1 billion as aggregate sales, then Borgo Retici and the workers. So these are huge numbers. Well, we were not able to communicate that well in the past. It's our fault. But what we are, the image we have is important. The answer. I think that the Campania entrepreneurs, Coral, and all the others are just wonderful. they can navigate the world. Campanian entrepreneurs now are aware, and they are together now. I started the game, but they will be the winners. Now we are aware at last that if we work together, we can enhance the activities of everyone. We can have incredible outcomes well beyond our expectations. I'm sure that we need the academies, and we will work on training. Present for academy is the key word. You are already working on that, is that right? Yes? Yes, we are there. Mr. Monticelli showed that there are so many ideas. We want to offer training courses based on the real needs of the supply chain. I'm aware of what's going on in Vincenzo and Arezzo. In Arezzo, the production is different from Campania, and they also need skills. We have been working with a company named Stella, who made us understand the difference between creating a skillful person working on trains is different from the one from the cutter. I realize that polishers are very important. Yes, of course. Indeed, everybody should be correctly skillful, because otherwise you spoil the work done upwards the supply chain. And indeed, the collaboration is the basis of a beautiful item. So the idea is to meet the demand for the different skills. Everybody should be able also to indeed support also the new young companies. So needs are important. And this is what will drive us to and into the future. Working together, as the minister said, D.OR Campania, so the network is open to all Campania stakeholders. You can become a member of that, because together we'll go beyond, get to the future. Thank you, Mr. Minister. Indeed, fine, it's 1 o'clock, so we will be able to leave the room to the friends who are convening afterwards. So we have a very tight time schedule. So we have to identify the needs and then go on. The second objective is to achieve outcomes and start with training. I think have to have everyone thanks the friends Borgo Refice, Mr. Laurentis, Mr. Mincione, the Feder Preziosi with Johnny De Maio, the deputy president, also call my friend Vincenzo Aucella. So my wish is that we could start sharing things and be inclusive with the whole world. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Aggiungerei una cosa.
Let me add. Indeed, we have the representatives of the trade fair, so thanks to them. Thank you very much. Opening to the world. Thank you. Goodbye.